Hi and welcome, Alicia Yusuf here. I'm bringing you an update on the astrology for the end of July, beginning of August 2022. Now we have Uranus and the North Node coming to conjunct on the 1st of August here in Australia, 31st of July for much of the rest of the world. And it's a very unique and unusual energy. Uranus, that electrical, insightful, unusual energy, is going to be amplified by the incoming tide of the North Node. Both of these sitting in Taurus right now. So there's this sense of how do we do things in a radical new way around things that are building, around women, food, our bodies, our sensuality, and also that very sense of how do we come into a calm, centered state. This energy has been around since 2018. Uranus has been moving through the Taurus part of the sky and therefore a certain area of your chart since then, bringing some groundbreaking energy that is very much like earthquakes rumbling through. With the North Node now and the current eclipse cycle also traveling through this Taurus axis and Scorpio as well. As these two meet in the sky on this period of time, right at the 18 degrees of Taurus, there's a sense that if we don't, we have to make good on the changes that we've been trying to create, or it's a chance to really get a push through. So the insights that might drop through in this time, you may find shocks or surprises come through. And all of these are towards a better future. I know a lot of people feel like they're facing a lot of change and being asked to perhaps move too fast for what they want to do. Taurus generally is a very slow and ponderous energy and can sometimes move at a glacial pace. But there is a sense with this that we need to make changes and make changes in a way that is very deep and very grounded. There is a steadiness that comes with Taurus, and it's a sense that when things shake up in this area of our charts, is the ground beneath our feet literally falling away? But the reminder here is that if we focus just on what we're losing or what is changing, we can't see what is possible beyond that. So we need to look beyond. We need to envision a future. This is where the North Node is inviting us into. How can you create an exciting new future for yourself? What kind of insights, what kind of surprising new perspectives are you getting that's telling you exactly where you can move and shift right now? Have a look at the house that Taurus is placed in, especially this 18-degree point if you don't use whole sign houses. Perhaps you have a point in your chart or a planet in your chart that's between that 13 to 23 degrees of Taurus, but especially the 17, 18, and 19 degrees will feel it most intensely right now. So just know that this is a chance to enfold change. Some of the things that this energy is pulling us towards is how can you create radical new form in the material world? We're already facing in so many levels extremes in climate right now. And so that's a sense that on a big scale, but also on a personal, what can you change in your life right now to meet the external change that's happening? Does this look like moving to a place that perhaps the extremes of climate won't harm you as much? Could it look like growing your own food or looking to new food sources? Again, a very Taurus energy. Taurus also is linked to women and women's issues. And in the past, when Uranus has moved through this area, we've seen changes that have allowed more freedom for women. And that may be what unfolds in the coming weeks and months as well. Just to remember too, some of the things that may get birthed in this time, we don't actually know about until they have more of a print. So it'd be interesting to see exactly what's being implemented in this period of time and what may be shaking apart that we may see down the track. The other thing that will be happening on that just the day after is that Mars is going to come and trigger off these points. So that'll be the 1st of August in most of the world, 2nd of August here in Australia. Mars is going to come and light the fire underneath this North Node Uranus conjunction. So I would expect, while usually Mars moves at that, as I said before, that glacial pace of this energy, there is a sense that the firecracker is going to burst forth. And it may be a day where you just don't feel like you can hold it in anymore, where you feel like you've been so restless that you're going to burst. So I would say make changes into how you approach life. Go slow to go fast. Take your time, come into your body. If you're trying to make decisions at this period of time, listen to your body's logic. Listen to what it's trying to tell you, what the impulses are there. The body is Taurus's domain, the 5 senses. It can give you a lot of information, a lot of intuitive knowledge towards making decisions. There's also just that call to being with the earth, being with the planet. What does that mean? My belief is that when humans have a better sense of their interconnectedness with the natural world, then the world can heal, the earth can heal. So building that connection, building that love of being in nature. Perhaps this is taking long, slow walks, the type where you just really feel at the same pace as the planet, as the animals, as the trees. Think about what it'll be like to be moving at the same pace that sap moves through trees. In that is an inherent steadiness, an inherent stillness, a serenity that Taurus really craves to be with. Also building things in a new and different way. One of the drives of Taurus is to build, and to build things towards longevity in that very fixed earth way. So there's a sense here of, okay, what can you build in a new and different and unusual way? It may be around how you think. It may be around lifestyle choices. It may be literally around a home you're choosing to build. But just think about it in that perspective too. It's also interesting as well. There's Uranus being linked to electricity and the North Node being what really comes in on the tide. The fact that we've got a coronal mass injection due in the next few days to create coming up against our magnetosphere. It'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of electricity on our planet and how we rely on that and whether or not we can continue to. So I would say, if you have computers or anything like that, make sure that they are attached to some kind of backup system, and perhaps have surge protectors on things as well, just in case something happens within the system. And in general, choosing slowness, choosing steadiness, choosing quiet. I think that there may be an energy around quite nervy, nervy energy. Uranus is linked as well to the central nervous system. So just making sure that you're doing things to protect that. And of course, turning to Taurus things will help. It may be that there are areas of your life, especially with the North Node, because we're also thinking along the axis of the South Node in Scorpio with this. There is a sense that as this energy passes through, you may be trying to let go of the Scorpio need to overanalyze, overthink, and dig too much into things, and just start to learn to be with things in the present moment, exactly as they're showing up. So if you find that you're in that scorpionic energy of trying to dig, trying to go too far, then just think, okay, how can I come back to the present? The key to this is through the body. The body exists only in the present moment. It's our brain that thinks forwards and backwards. So come into your body, feel things in your body, just breathe as a really great antidote to this kind of energy. Also to note that there is an eclipse, a lunar eclipse happening very close to the degrees that this will be happening on the 8th of November. So this is almost the first act on the stage for this energy to come through. So do expect a revisit at that period of time. Mars won't be in Taurus any longer at that time, but it will be when Mars is in its retrograde, heading back towards that energy. So just to be aware, it'll be interesting to see how, when we're in that very Mars in Taurus energy, what that looks like. You know, that slow, steady, but keep going. It's like the tortoise and the hare, where the tortoise is the one that wins the race. So don't feel like you have to push yourself too much in this energy. Keep things as simple as possible. And realize that we need to look beyond the apocalypse. We need to look beyond what we're holding on to. This change has to come. We cannot keep going the way we're going. Something is going to break before we do. So now is the time to create change so that we can bend in our journey instead of creating something that will break. Wishing you much success.